We do have weather impact alerts in effect for Sunday all day and then Monday morning as well. This could be adjusted depending on the timing of the storm system and how fast it moves in its track as well. So be very close to the forecast over the coming days. Main impacts from this: heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and tidal flooding issues. I was talking to meteorologist Craig Muller earlier. Because we just had that full moon and super moon at that, we're going to have our king tides. King tides are higher tides that align with those full moons in place for this weekend, where we already could have tidal flooding issues because of the northeast winds coming from this system. So be very careful. What you need to do is stay weather aware during this time. That means making sure that you are paying attention to the forecast. That means following us here on Live Impact News. That means also following us on Instagram and 13 News Now Plus for the latest updates, as we do update the forecast every 3 hours on our streaming platforms. So here's a look at the weekend nor'easter. Confidence is increasing as we get into the weekend with this storm coming through. We do know this storm will form. Our problem is, where will it track? The closer it tracks to the Outer Banks, the worse the situation will be. Trying to treat this almost like a tropical storm in terms of its impacts. We had a coastal low not too long ago, maybe like a month ago, that brought us 8 inches of rainfall to Virginia Beach. And it brought us all of that flooding. And people were saying how even during tropical storms, we don't see that big of impacts. Same thing here. My other concern turns to our friends who live in Rodanthe and Buxton. We have seen houses collapse because of just stronger waves. But those storms weren't even close to us. You talk about a storm maybe about 100 miles offshore, and that brings bigger impact. So as you see, again, heavy rain, gusty winds, tidal flooding are main issues. The timeline is Sunday through Monday for right now, but it could be extended to Tuesday depending on how slow this system moves. And I'm going to take out my arrow like I did yesterday to kind of give you a look. Okay, so let's get into a little bit of meteorology. This is the center of low pressure. These circles are called isobars, which means they're equal amounts of pressure around these circles. The more circles there are around this center right here, the stronger the storm is. And so that means that the pressure is getting lower and lower. When you have lower pressure, the wind speed starts to go up. And so we could have gusty winds, again, heavy rainfall and tidal flooding. Remember, when we have northeast winds that pull in higher tides to the Atlantic and the Bay, that's where you get that inland flooding. Now, again, timeline, Saturday afternoon-ish through the day on Sunday and through Monday morning, bare minimum, if this track continues to really align right up this coast. Here's the Outer Banks, and here's that center of low pressure. And you can see that this model continues to bring this and just kind of swirls it around here, just offshore of here, and even gets stronger as it heads closer to Delaware and New Jersey. So just something to keep in mind.
And I want to jump in really quickly, Taylor, because one thing I did note about sort of what we're dealing with right now is the entire East Coast is sort of in it together, as you described.
Right.
This is all the way up the East Coast. Based on what I'm seeing now on the screen, that holds true for this storm as well. This is going to be the entire East Coast experiencing this?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It is. And it's so funny you say that, because I actually had a meteorologist at our sister station in Jacksonville reach out to me about this specific graphic. And they were like, we like this graphic. Can we use it? Because it's going to impact Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Washington, D.C., even into Delaware, New York, and New Jersey. So this is going to be a pretty much entire East Coast thing. And I'm just kind of grateful that it's happening this time of year, because given the way that this is a very strong low pressure system, if it was even colder here or really anywhere north of us, we may be talking some snow at this point, just because of how strong it is. But again, temperature is way too warm for that. We're going to be in the 60s and 70s over the weekend. So think more heavy rainfall, thunderstorms, gusty winds, tidal flooding. Good question.
Yes, thank you very much. And I could tell, even Naya, you put that graphic up, and I could tell Naya was just like, ooh, great graphic.
Yeah.
Tremendous graphic. They're going to be asking for that all up and down the coast. Okay, so we have an idea of what we're looking at. The weather is going to be really gross, but you did say we need some rain.
We do.
And
we do.
Do we need this much rain, or would kind of today and tomorrow would have been sufficient, right? Or is it good that we're getting all of this through the weekend?
That's a great question, too. Let me pull up our almanac, and so we can see how much rain we actually need compared to the rain that we will receive. So I'm going to use yesterday's almanac because our almanac numbers for high temperatures don't really come in until around 4 o'clock. So today's almanac wouldn't really be helpful, especially because we are getting rain at the moment. So those numbers will be updated later on today. So here's yesterday's almanac. And you can see that yesterday's high temperature was in the middle 80s. We had lows in the 60s. We didn't get any rain yesterday. But from our yearly departure of rainfall, we are about 4 to 5 inches below where we should be for this time of year. We've been really graced with really nice weather through August, September, and early October, but it's been very, very dry. So let's roll through and see how much rainfall we could get over the course of the weekend. I'm going to pull up our next graphic here. And this is rainfall potential using our European model. Now, the European model is one of our global models, meaning that it can go out easily 1 to 2 weeks. But the closer you are in terms of the forecast with our shorter range models, which are our high resolution, and the graph models, the more precise the forecast is. So to take this with a little bit of a grain of salt, but this takes you through, I'm going to actually edit this because this is already, well, that's not too bad. This is showing starting on Saturday. So we're dry Saturday afternoon. Mm-hmm. We're going to see maybe half an inch of rainfall to an inch of rainfall through the night on Saturday. This takes us through Sunday morning. Rainfall starts to increase, maybe 1 to 2 inches by Sunday evening. Let's take it through Monday. And you can see up to 3, maybe even 4 inches around our coast. Right now, the European model is calling by Tuesday morning to have 4 to 6 inches of rainfall on the eastern shore.
Okay, so this would catch us right up to our yearly sort of target. Almost exactly.
It would, but the problem is we're getting all the rain at the same time. And so my concern turns to flash flooding, right? Because you don't want all 2 to 4 inches in one sitting, right? We want it to be spread out. So yes, it would definitely catch us up, and it would help with probably some drought concerns. And I'll pull up the drought monitor to see where we're sitting at right now. Just note that the drought monitor does update every Thursday, so we will get a new update tomorrow with this drought monitor to kind of take into account what's been happening. But we do have a moderate drought in place for northeastern North Carolina, and abnormally dry conditions for parts of the south side and the rest of northeastern North Carolina. For the rest of Hampton Roads, we're okay. The rain probably really won't help or hurt us in any sense, but it will definitely help our friends in Elizabeth City, Eatonton, and Ahoskie, and especially for our farmers out there who need the water, especially as we head into fall and to winter.
Absolutely. It almost stops right on the border.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, that's like almost a straight line there. Okay, so we're going to get some rain, but we wish that it was a little more spread out.
Right.
We don't know the exact path of the storm this weekend, but we are anticipating heavy conditions. I want to rewind to tomorrow. You've been talking about this wind, and you've been describing it as 25 to 30 mile per hour winds.
Yeah.
Is there any type of real world description you can give us? I mean, how heavy is, because I kind of judge my wind based on, could I walk? Did my hat fly off? What exactly is a 25 to 30 mile per hour wind? What will we feel?
Oh, that's a good question. You're definitely going to have to secure your hat. It's kind of like a messy hair day. That's what I would think about it, more of your hair is going to get messed up. You're not going to be knocked over by the wind, but it's definitely noticeable in your face. And a lot of times those north winds are very chilly, so you're going to feel that chill on you. Let's talk about wind chill for a second, because that's another thing that we can talk about when it comes to tomorrow as well. So here we go. That's wind chill today. Let's look at wind chill and temperatures tomorrow. So highs tomorrow will be somewhere in the middle 60s, upper 60s. It seems like the wind chill may feel a little bit more like the lower 60s during the evening time, but it seems like the wind may not do too much when it comes to the actual temperatures throughout the day. But you're going to notice, especially after having 80s earlier this week, how much chillier tomorrow will feel in perspective. But in terms of winds, I'm thinking messy hair day, baseball cap may fly off a little bit. A windbreaker probably would help, but it's not going to be enough to be like, I have to grip onto something real quick before I fly away.
Yeah. I can't get out of my car.
Right,
yeah.
No.
Okay.
Just more of a nuisance, I guess.
More of a nuisance, and we will get any and all hair issues fixed by the time Live Impact News starts, guys. Don't worry. We'll do a product situation. We'll be just fine. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing I've noticed is it almost feels like summer is now truly in the rearview mirror.
Oh, are you not a believer that summer ends when fall begins? I'm a fall baby.
I
Fall
feel like
already started.
as long as there is a high 80s day hidden in there somewhere, summer lives. It lives in the shadows, but it'll pop out every once in a while in early October and late September. It'll hang around, and we'll get a little dash of summer. But it feels like even that is gone.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, our average high temperature for this time of year is right around about 75 degrees. So any time of temperatures in the 80s is well above normal for this time of year. So here's a look at the 10-day temperature trend, and you can see that temperatures are going to stay at best in the upper 60s and lower 70s, maybe even some mid 70s sneaking in there in the middle of next week. But that's over the next 10 days. So that takes us through not this weekend, but the following weekend, which is like Wine Fest weekend for Norfolk. So getting more into those fall activities. I prefer temperatures to be like this because I'm ready for Halloween, and Halloween to me always has a little bit of a chill. And so, yeah, I have seen Naya's doing a little money chill sign.
Yep. You guys have been waiting. You guys have been waiting for that chill.
We have
what they call sweater weather.
Yes, I'm so excited. I feel like fall fashion is much better than summer fashion.
People do seem to love. I mean, you've got more garments to work with, right?
Yeah, truly. But I do feel like summer fashion is just so basic. Like fall, you can do.
Whoa, summer fashion is what you make it.
No, it's very basic.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
I was literally just telling them the other day. I was like, sweater weather is in.
Right.
You have so many variations of outfits when it comes to fall. Summer is just tank top and shorts. It's not
literally.
But here's the thing: you have less to work with during summer, right? You simply have less clothing on, which forces you to be more creative. It brings the best out of all of us when it comes to our fashion choices.
Fall, you have more pieces.
And see, this top view, you guys can't see the faces that I'm getting.
Yeah.
Nobody is buying any of what I'm saying. Okay, well then, you know what? I'm bought in. Let's get sweater weather going. I'm ready to go. Taylor, I do want to give I want the people to understand just how much you're doing. Did you do the morning shows today?
I did. So
Taylor is doing. Go ahead, give them the rundown.
So I did the 5 I was here at 5 a.m. and then I did the behind the scenes digital stuff to make sure that not only is the on-air stuff covered with Craig, but also our digital stuff is updated as well. So people who maybe need to get the weather on the go, you can look at our app and see everything is detailed there. And then I went on air around 6 o'clock. And here and there, and then I did a whole 2-hour stream for weather, and then I took a break because your girl needs a break. Yeah. I took a break, and then I came back into the noon, and now I'm here on Live Impact News.
And I walked into the studio just to chat with you about our Live Impact News hit. I thought surely you would have a small break in between the end of the noon and the start of our stream, and you were recording everything that you needed to get in the bank for later on for everyone else to use. The point is, our meteorologists are working for you guys, and on a week like this and a weekend like this, all of that is available on 13 News Now Plus. Use that resource because they are using that resource to make sure that you guys have everything that you need. And then we'll save the Halloween costume reveal. I know Naya and I have talked a lot about potential Halloween costumes. Based on your excitement, Taylor, I would imagine that you've got some things cooking. We'll save that for late October.
Okay, because there's an interesting twist to the Halloween costume that you may not know.
Okay. You've got your own personal twist to your Halloween costume? Is that what you're telling me?
Naya and I have a personal twist to our Halloween costumes.
Okay, you guys have been scheming behind my back. All right, late October, we'll have that. Look forward to that, people. It's not all weather. We got a costume reveal for you. Is there anything else that people need to know about the forecast before we let you go?
I'll say 2 things. One, over the course of the weekend, we will be having some probably increased coverage of streaming for this because of the nor'easter, and so we'll be talking more. Me, chief meteorologist Tim Pandages, and meteorologist Evan Stewart. We will all be here covering it for you. So we will be here working behind the scenes and on air to get you that coverage. The last thing is, Naya, do you have any questions about the forecast at all?
Yes.
I don't have any questions, but I do want to stress the importance of when y'all are in the morning giving the forecast. Because this morning, I realized that my umbrella was not in the car, and I had to run into the building. And y'all always say every morning, make sure to pack your umbrella, your raincoat. and I did not do that.
It's okay. It's all right. We all mess up. It's we all mess up. I think it's worse when I mess up because I already forecasted it and then I forget my umbrella. I'm like, how did I, of all people, forget my
Right.
umbrella when I've been saying it to everybody else?
You're too into it.
Literally.
Well, actually, that brings up, now that you brought that up, Naya, I have a question that maybe if you don't have the answer to right now, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some debate when it's raining outside. Is it actually better to walk in through the rain, or is it better to run in through the rain? I've heard these conspiracy theories that walking in through the rain, you actually end up less wet than if you run in. Is it? You guys have not heard this?
No.
Okay, this is totally new. All right, then
Yeah.
we're gonna have to do a
Yeah.
deep dive exploration into this. I hope at least one viewer out there has heard this. I might just have friends who are totally leading me astray when it comes to our random debates. All right, we're saving that. Naya, anything else for Taylor?
Nothing else.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Taylor.
You're
we appreciate
welcome.
it. Enjoy your days off, and
will.
thanks for everything that you guys have been doing.
You're welcome. And I'll see you guys bright and early on Saturday morning tracking this nor'easter. So let's do it together.